It began like any other ordinary evening, yet it turned into a night that would change everything. I had just cleared my plate after dinner and was absent-mindedly scrolling through emails when Melissa, my wife of 7 years, stepped into the dining room. Something about her demeanor instantly struck me as off. She was fidgeting, her fingers tapping nervously against her phone, her eyes unsettled. I could tell she had something on her mind, but I never imagined the weight of what she was about to confess. She pulled out a chair across from me, lowered herself into it, and kept her gaze fixed on the table. Her voice trembled as she spoke. "There's something I need to tell you. I'll be going away for a few days with Ryan." For a split second, I just stared at her, waiting for the punchline, hoping she would laugh and admit it was a joke. But there was no laughter. The name alone hit me like a blow to the chest. Ryan wasn't just anyone. He was her former lover, someone I thought belonged to a long-closed chapter in her life. To hear his name now, linked to an upcoming trip, felt surreal. At first, I thought I had misheard her. My mind refused to process it. My own wife sitting across from me, openly admitting she planned to travel with her ex, it felt like a twisted scene from someone else's life. But Melissa didn't waver. Her lips were pressed tightly together, her shoulders tense, as if bracing for the storm she expected from me. That was when it dawned on me, she wasn't joking. She meant every word. The air between us grew heavy with silence. My chest ached as if it were collapsing in on itself, but I forced my emotions down. Losing control would only hand her an excuse to brand me as jealous or paranoid. And I refused to give her that satisfaction. Finally, I broke the silence with a single question. Why? My voice was steady, though I could feel rage clawing beneath my skin. She launched into what sounded like a rehearsed explanation. She said it was a professional trip, that Ryan had valuable business contacts who could help her career, and that I needed to trust her because apparently I had nothing to worry about. She said it all so casually, so dismissively, as if it were the most reasonable thing in the world. My stomach churned. She wasn't even trying to disguise the betrayal. She was laying it bare, expecting me to accept it without protest. And that was the moment I recognized it wasn't just recklessness. It was arrogance. As she spoke, I noticed the way she kept stealing glances at me, waiting. She wanted a reaction. She wanted me to plead with her not to go, to hurl accusations, to shout until the walls shook. She wanted me to lose control so she could twist the narrative, turning me into the jealous, controlling husband. It was a trap, and she believed I would walk right into it. But I didn't. I sat quietly, my face unreadable, letting her rehearsed lines fall flat. She finished, and the silence thickened once again. Then I leaned back in my chair, met her eyes directly, and gave her my response. Just 2 simple words. "Don't worry." The effect was immediate. She froze, her lips parting in shock, clearly expecting fury or begging, anything but this unnerving calm. Instead, I gave her nothing, just composure, so still it unsettled her more than any explosion of anger ever could. Her confidence faltered. She shifted in her chair, unsure of herself now. "Don't worry? That's it?" she asked, her voice carrying a nervous edge. I didn't answer. I just held her gaze for a moment longer, then turned back to my emails as if the discussion was finished. That was when she began to realize something had changed. I wasn't clinging to her anymore. I wasn't playing the desperate husband she expected. My calmness carried a finality she hadn't accounted for, and I could see the unease growing in her eyes. The rest of the night, she circled back again and again, asking if I was angry, if I cared, if I still loved her. Her voice grew louder, more desperate, as she tried to provoke me into giving her the drama she craved. But I refused to engage. I carried on with my evening as if her words meant nothing. My silence, and those 2 words, hung over her like a shadow. The more I refused to respond, the more shaken she became. She thought she was holding the power, but the truth was she had already lost it. By the following morning, I had made my decision. I didn't wait for her to finish packing for her so-called trip. While she showered, I quietly packed my own bag. On the kitchen counter, I placed a stack of divorce papers along with a short note that read, "Don't worry, I'm done. No shouting. No arguments. Just the truth, written clearly. When she stepped out of the bathroom and saw the documents, her face drained of color. But by then, I was already gone, walking out the door with my head held high. Melissa believed she could dangle her ex in front of me, test my limits, and still return home to find me waiting like a fool. She was wrong. The moment she confessed she was going away with Ryan, she had already destroyed our marriage. My two-word reply was simply the punctuation mark at the end of her betrayal. It was my way of saying, I will never fight for someone who doesn't value me. And in the end, it wasn't anger or chaos that shook her the most. It was my quiet certainty. Sometimes the most devastating response isn't fury or broken dishes. Sometimes it's nothing more than two calm words that mark the exact moment you decide to walk away for good.